ready.
All right, good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and open the meeting of the Camarillo Airport Authority. And Mr. Trump, open for Oxnard.
Yes, thank you. We will call to order at 6:30 p.m. for the Oxnard Airport Authority.
Great. Could we, Councilmember Santangelo, could you do the Pledge of Allegiance for us tonight? Would you mind? Thanks.
Stand. Pendulum heart, ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We will have Supervisor Lopez here with us in a few minutes, but there are a number of things I think we can get through for both Camarillo and Oxnard while we're waiting for Supervisor Lopez. Let's do roll call first. Can you please call roll, Madam Clerk, for Camarillo Airport Authority?
Okay, we have Supervisor Kelly Long.
Here.
Supervisor Lopez. We have Chair Tony Tremblay.
Here.
We have Councilmember Susan Santangelo.
Here.
And we have Vice Chair Scott Bear.
Here.
And with that, we do have a quorum for tonight.
Okay, so with that, can we do a roll call for the Oxnard Airport Authority, please?
Supervisor Long.
Here.
Supervisor Lopez. Councilmember Burr Perlo.
Here.
Chair Duran.
Here.
And Vice Chair Barbara Filkins.
Here.
And with that, we do have a quorum for tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair Duran. You see Chair Duran and I doing this wonderful balancing act back and forth between Camarillo and Oxnard. So we're I think usually very successful in doing that. All right, agenda review. Are there any changes to the agenda, Mr. Fade?
Chairs, we had a couple adjustments, changes. One of the candidates for tonight's public member and alternate member, Heather Schmidt, withdrew her application. And then we received, as we've shared and we'll be posting, multiple comments in support for various candidates for items 7A and 7C, public member and alternate members. And that's it.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go to item 4, approval of minutes for November 13. Are there any questions from any members of the authority relative to the minutes? All right, anything from Oxnard, Chair Twan? Nope.
Anything? Seeing and hearing none, I'll turn it back to you.
Can we hear a motion?
I'll approve.
I'll second.
Or we have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
We have Supervisor Lopez. We have Chair Tony Tremblay.
Yes.
We have Councilmember Susan Santangelo.
I'll abstain. I was absent.
We have Vice Chair Scott Bear.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes 3 with 1 abstention.
Okay, and we'll do approval of the minutes for the Oxnard Airport Authority. Can I entertain a motion?
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Perlo and a second by Vice Chair Filkins. Can we have a vote, please?
We have Supervisor Long.
Yes.
Councilmember Burke Perlo.
Yes.
Chair Gabe Duran.
Yes.
And Vice Chair Barb Filkins.
Yes.
And that motion passes 4-0.
Back to you, Chair.
All right, thank you. All right, we're now going to go to item 5, public comment period. If any members of the audience wish to make a public comment on items that are not on tonight's agenda, they'd be welcome at this time. There's a 3-minute limit for speakers that we observe. I have, if you would be so kind as to fill out speaker cards and provide them to Madam Clerk in the back. I've got 2 speaker cards so far that I will recognize. The first one is Mark Malone.
Your comment, your time will begin when you start speaking.
Okay, thank you. I'm Mark Malone, and I've been a Camarillo Airport tenant since 1984, owning a box hangar by the cafe until 1995, and then began renting County Hangar 280 in the midfield hangars This is one of the 7 large box hangars. My topic is the proposed midfield hangar redevelopment and how it affect the Camarillo residents' quality of life. Midfield hangar area keeps the airport community of pilots with hangars within walking distance of the CAF and EAA. And it's a gathering center for local residents and kids to learn about aviation from local volunteers. This is a positive for the community. Removing and building similar hangars elsewhere on the airport fractures this community. That's a negative for Camarillo. The midfield hangars could be repaired. They're just steel and sheet metal, or they could be redeveloped into new small aircraft hangars right where they are. Building big jet hangars is not in the best interest of Camarillo residents who already have had enough of jet overflights. Local residents are pretty clear, saying that jet operations into Camarillo are already annoyingly high and at the top of their list of complaints. So that should be taken as Camarillo saying no to any new jet hangars. Two more Air 7 type hangars could house up to 20 jets. If these 20 jets flew twice a week, it could add 2,000 more takeoffs and 2,000 more jet landings per year. All of these would be over Old Town. Building 2 same-size hangars as Air 7 would have a dramatic effect on Old Town and Camarillo. The first question that should be asked in a small community is whether development will be a positive or negative for the community. A survey of local residents will provide a resounding answer. No more jets. That means no more big hangars. Rebuild the small midfield hangars if at all possible, or replace them with the same size hangars. These jets are not owned by residents living in Camarillo, but it's the closest airport with available space. So Camarillo is fast becoming the overflow parking lot for Van Nuys and Los Angeles Airport. Turning away big hangar projects that would attract more new jets is the best way to protect Camarillo and its way of life. But if you build it, they will come, and the big jets will be with us indefinitely, and that is a community negative. Camarillo has many sources of income, and no one that lives here wants us to become the next Van Nuys Airport nightmare. Camarillo has a single runway, which makes for mixing slow and fast airplanes more complicated, and the control tower has the added consideration of being a training tower. There's no way to reroute jet arrivals from overflying Overtown. Jets need to be established straight in over Old Town to land to the west. At 170 miles an hour,
Mr. Malone,
jets will not be able
Mr.
to
Malone.
Las Postas Road.
Mr. Malone, I apologize for interrupting you, but you're at your 3-minute limit. So
Okay.
thank you very much. I can
Okay.
only give 3 minutes to everybody. I got to treat everybody equally. Thank you. And if you have written comments and you want to submit them to the clerk of the board, that would be great. Thank you. Next on public comments, and welcome aboard Supervisor Lopez. We're just on item 5, public comments. Larry Stein? STEM? Stein. Thank you, Mr. Stein. Sorry about that.
Mr. Stein, your time will begin when you start speaking.
Good evening, members and public. I'm Larry Stein. I've been a resident of Oxnard since 1982. I've seen a little bit of 40 years. So recently, been plans to build 1,000 homes next to Oxnard Airport. The land next to the airport is called Teal Club. The city council approved the Teal Club specific plan last April. The plan is to build 1,000 homes on that land next to the airport. Now, as agricultural land, it's safe for male workers to be in the field to harvest crops. These won't be susceptible to lead in the air caused by aircraft next to the airport. Unfortunately, there are plans to build 1,000 homes there. Many of the residents, I'm sure, will be women of childbearing years and children in the age of 10. The concern I have, the city, neither the city nor the county have actually tested the air for lead in the air. There are concerns there's lead in the air. And lead in the air is hazardous to people who have childbearing years and people in the age of 10. I recommend the airport authority have the air tested by Oxnard Airport because the county refuses to test the air at the airport. The city refuses to test the air at the airport. I've made many requests to have this and they refuse to test the air. Nobody knows if air is hazardous or not. But there is aircraft using lead in their fuel. And perhaps the airport authority could recommend to the county to have the air tested before it becomes hazardous. Perhaps subject the airport authority and the Oxnard Airport to litigation because the people might be suffering from lead in the air if homes are built. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stein. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address either Camarillo or Oxnard Airport Authority on items which are not on tonight's agenda? All right, I'm sorry, yes, sir? For an item that's not on the agenda? That would be an item that's on, that would be an item that's on the agenda. Okay, thank you, sir. Anybody else? Going once? All right.
And
Then we will.
I'm sorry for the time. Just for the record, we did have Supervisor Lopez join us at 6:36.
Correct. Thank you very much. All right. And I assume there are no public comments, Madam Clerk, from in cyberspace?
No, there's no public comments from online.
Online, thank you. I'll try to remember online and not cyberspace. Okay, there we go. I got to get the terminology correct. All right, let's go to item 6 on the consent agenda. We have 2 items, both pertaining to Camarillo Airport Authority. Is there any discussion by members of the Camarillo Airport Authority on either item? If not, do I hear a motion on items 6A and or 6B?
Motion to approve. Staff recommendation.
All right, I'm hearing a motion to approve staff recommendations on both items 6A and 6B.
Yes.
With a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes, Supervisor Long?
Yes.
Yes, Supervisor Lopez?
Yes.
Chair Tremblay?
Yes.
Councilmember Santangelo?
Yes.
And Vice Chair Bear?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay, we do have a vote for with 1 abstention and that passes.
All right, thank you very much. The lights flickering are not an indication of any agenda relative to, okay. I was just checking. All right, thank you very much. We're now going to move to items 7 on the regular agenda, and I'm turning it over to my fellow chair, Mr. Trump.
Thank you, Chair. We're moving on to item 7A, Oxnard Airport Authority subject selection of public member and alternate public member recommendations. Select a public member and alternate public member to serve on the Oxnard Airport Authority. And for this item, just to outline for the public the process I'd like to do to keep this fair for everybody and try to be respectful of everybody's time as well. Chair Tremblay and I have discussed doing it consistently between the 2 authorities. We're looking at first, let me outline the process. We will invite applicants to share any additional information at the podium. We have all received and reviewed the applications that were submitted. And it was stated for the record, we had 1 applicant who did rescind their application. But any who are here tonight who would like to address the authority from the podium, please feel free to do so. We will give you 3 minutes to add any supplemental information for consideration of what you'd like us to hear about for your application. Then after each of the applicants has had time to share at the podium, each authority will have the opportunity to ask them any follow-up questions they'd like before they leave the podium. Then move on to the next applicant to speak. After we've heard from all of the applicants, we will take public comments. And then after that, we'll open the floor for discussion and nominations. So with that, I would like to invite the applicants who, Councilor Perlo. The question, Director Freitas, is can somebody turn in an application from the floor or do they had to turn them by the deadline?
We did have a cutoff for that, and we had other applicants that did not meet that deadline.
Thank you for sharing that with this board and the public.
Thank you, Council Member.
And just a reminder, any candidates that might be up on the diocese might want to come back into the public during each of those processes as that happens.
Thank you, Director Freitas. Step over. Okay. So, any Any members who are currently up on the dais are welcome to step back to the audience for their time to address the podium. Okay. So with that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 applicants for the Oxnard Airport Authority. And so I believe it'd be fair to offer the time to each of the applicants who would like to address the authority from the podium. I'll go in just alphabetical order, which is what we have them in here if we'd like to do so. So our first we have is Michael Alfred. Would Michael like to address? Okay, thank you, Mr. Alfred. And our next person is, excuse me, I'm going to attempt to do the pronunciation here. Aram Dakasian. Okay, would you like to address the authority? Okay, go ahead. And did I-
Your time will begin when you start speaking.
And before you start, sir, can you please correct me on your pronunciation of your name?
Thank you. It's Aram Dakasian.
Dakasian. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Good evening, citizens of Oxnard, Camarillo, and Ventura County. Happy New Year. Today, I stand before you today because I care about the quality of life in our county and beyond. It's about making sure that our children and our children's children can experience the quality of life that we all enjoy today. As I was coming in today, I talked to a lot of good people, familiar faces, people that I knew. In fact, one person actually lived down the street from where I used to live at one point in my life. We've come here because we care about our quality of life. I hold a bachelor's degree in aviation business administration. And with that degree, I've had a lot of extensive knowledge in studying master plans from all over the world. In addition, I also worked for the federal government, and I've done Part 139 airport operations, practiced them myself. The common theme tonight is about growth. It's about ensuring that we have healthy growth, that we have growth in a way that does not hinder the quality of life that we all enjoy. I stand here because I care about the people that rent hangars, the people that do. And there's a common theme here. We do not have a balanced scale that weighs developers and people. The people that I'm talking about, they contribute to our economy too. They hold small businesses, they rent hangars. This is all revenue. We have to consider these people too. In addition, what I plan on doing as well is addressing this issue by getting town halls, getting opportunities where people have that place. A job of a public member is to ensure that people are able to have a direct access. What we have here today, we have a lot of county, local officials, public members, all in one coalition. And that is the opportunity that we have today. That's the opportunity that I want to give to people who may not have that opportunity. I also want to address the issue of aircraft noise, and we need to make sure that we hold meetings with local flight schools, local FBOs, businesses that rely on it, alongside people to make sure that we have pilot safety in addition to the safety and growth of our county. And that is what I intend to do if you do vote for me. I will work diligently with all the good people that I know, and I look forward to hearing to you all soon. I look forward to working with you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dakasian. Do we have questions from our Oxnard Airport authorities? Seeing and hearing none, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate you throwing your hat in the ring. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, council member. Okay. Our next here alphabetically is Barbara Lee Filkins.
Ms. Filkins,
Let's
your
see if
time
I
will
can get
start.
through this in 3 minutes. The 3 things I said on my application was community, opportunity, and commitment. Community and opportunity are empty unless there's commitment. 3.5 years ago, I sat in Keith Riedis's office and we talked about outreach at Oxnard. And I said, well, let's do a Young Eagles thing. And he kind of looked at me and said, huh? Because he didn't know me from Adam. Well, we'll do it in 2023. No, 2022, December. That was the day of discovery at Oxnard, which brought all of the community together, the whole aviation community, to make that happen. Since that time, I've been on a wild ride. I'm on both EAA boards. 723, I've helped heal some of the wounds between our landlord CAF and EAA. I participate through me working with Jeanette. We participate in tours for the schools. 1469, I'm the Young Eagles coordinator for the chapter. We don't do monthly flights, but we do specialty events. Schools contact us, and we effectively give them an end-to-end tour of the airport, as well as flying the kids. That involves ops, Tower, Aspen, and now that we have Access Air and Matt Johnson is committed to the community, that as well. I'm on the board of Wings Over Camarillo. I took Judy Phelps's place as the VC 99, and I have kind of held to that. I've been in the management for the STEM Pavilion for the last 3 years. And this year, I took over the management of Aviation STEM Career Day at, again, that's a county-wide with a couple of goals. Last year, we reinstated it after COVID and basically said we're good at 400 kids. We had 1,000 this year, 17 buses, and we brought in the east end of the county as well as Oxnard and most of this underserved area. So the other thing is I fly for Lighthawk, conservation flying, public benefit, watch the foxes and track the condors. I also am involved in the industry. I tend to open my mouth and get invited in. I'm involved with the process for the next light sport aircraft. We just had the IMC specification approved for that standard. I also participate regularly in the airport safety. I work with the tower to try to get my students to be better neighbors in the pattern. And as a result of that, I have been invited in as a member of the Southern California Airspace Working Group starting this year. And I can tell you from listening to the problems, that's airspace all the way from Santa Barbara south to San Diego into Arizona as well. We don't stand alone. We're all interconnected. So that's that conduit of information I will bring.
Thank you. Your time has expired. Do we have questions for Ms. Filkins from the Oxnard Airport Authority? Seeing and hearing none. Thank you, Ms. Filkins. Appreciate your time as well. And next we have Roger Gagnon. Thank you. Thank you very much. And our next person is David Kerr, excuse me, sir.
Your time will start when you begin speaking.
And good evening, and thanks for the opportunity to speak. I'm not a pilot, not involved in civil aviation, but I am a resident of Oxnard and a neighbor of the airport. And as a neighbor of the airport, I represent the eyes and ears of concerned citizens. And those citizens need a voice to come to this board to express their concerns about aviation operations out of Oxnard Airport in particular. My background in aviation is I'm the retired fire chief from Santa Monica Mountains National Recreation Area. Also did a stint as the fire chief on the Los Padres National Forest. As such, I managed the rotor wing and fixed wing programs on both those units for the Santa Maria reload base for the air tankers and the Chichipedi, Rose Valley, and Tanbark helicopter bases for the U.S. Forest Service. I worked closely with Aspen Aviation when they were the contract aviation company for the U.S. Forest Service, providing contract helicopters for fire suppression operations. I've managed extensive budgets. I've done public outreach, conducted public meetings on a variety of environmental concerns. And what I see my role is as a board is a member to be the eyes and ears as to what the community actually wants to bring. As someone who's not a pilot and who's not involved in civil aviation, I can be a non-biased, non-supportive member of the aviation community and represent the needs and concerns of the community. And that's where I see my role as a member of the board.
Thank you, sir. Do we have questions from the Oxnard Airport Authority for Mr. Kerr?
Just a comment. Thank you very much for putting your hat in the ring.
Okay, seeing and hearing none, thank you also for your time, sir. Next, we have Stephen Lentz.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to address the board and to throw my hat in the ring for service. I've been in aviation for over 50 years. I got an early start. I rode my bike to the airport and used to sit at the fence and watch the airplanes. So that led to a very kind pilot inviting me in and giving me my first ride. That led to mowing about 1,000 lawns to generate income to get my private pilot's license. I actually had my pilot's license before I had my driver's license, so it's a long story. That led to college aeronautics a degree, and then 30 years of service in the Air Force on the flight line all the way up to wing commander status. I then had a 12-year career in the airlines up at the mid management level, mainly on the side of safety. Was this safety rep for 2 separate airlines. I've been a resident here in Ventura for 14 years. I've been a hangar resident at Oxnard for 14 of those years also. My current job, I am the director of operations of a jet charter outfit in Chino. So I have one foot in civil aviation where I fly my own airplane and another foot in the commercial side. So it gives me the perspective of both of those views. I have enjoyed being able to participate in this CAF here at Camarillo, and I can see some of the issues involved with that tenant status here. I do appreciate this opportunity and thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, sir. Do we have questions for Mr. Lentz?
I just thank you very much for putting your hat in the ring.
Yes. Anyone else? Okay, thank you also for your time. And our next is Douglas Tauber.
Thank you. The opportunity again. I'm not going to bother you with my qualifications. You've seen my resume, and the only thing I got to say is, after 32 years with American Airlines, I will be coming to an abrupt halt 2 weeks from today. So I'll have plenty of time in my hands to serve. In the past, we worked with the airport, with my neighborhood council. As you know, I'm a member of the INCO, and I have the support here today. We've worked in the past trying to get to do right-hand traffic and alleviate the noise problem, and it's worked wonderfully. The only thing is we feel that there's really not enough representation on these governing boards for the airport, brings the neighborhoods into consideration. And we've come here today with the backing of the Oxnard INCO to try to get a seat at a table. Bert, when I first started doing this, you kind of mentored me, and you always told me that you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So that you encouraged me to step up to the plate, and as a neighborhood chair, I ended up being on the INCO, and so here I am today, stepping up to the plate again. So that's pretty much all I got to say. Appreciate your support, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions?
Appreciate you entering, Doug.
Thank you, Councilmember. Anyone else? Okay, thank you as well for your time. And actually, that was our last speaker, as Ms. Schmidt has pulled her application. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. With that, we've heard from each of the speakers and had an opportunity for questions from the authority. I have two public speakers for this item at this point. If anyone else would like to fill out a comment card, a speaker card, you may do so and hand it to the clerk, and then we will call you up to the podium. I have two speaker cards, as I mentioned thus far, and my apologies. I'm trying to look at the writing. Is it Brian Kell? Okay, so we have Brian Kell, who will be followed by Walter Hagedorn.
Your 3 minutes will begin when you start speaking.
Thanks, Board, for the opportunity. I just wanted to express my support for Barbara Filkins for this role that she already holds. I met her about 4 years ago when I purchased my first aircraft. I've been a pilot for about 30 years, was a kid, and I saw how she was really involved in the organization of Young Eagles. She was my flight instructor after I purchased the aircraft and helped me get advanced ratings after that. And I can't think of anybody that'd be better fit for the role. She's not only a member of the aviation community and community at large, but her positions in EAA, Young Eagles, Wings Over Camarillo, and beyond just not only display her level of commitment and service to aviation, but really to the community at large. I believe she's the glue that connects organizations and people, and she's very much in the relationship business. Her multifaceted experience and commitment to aviation safety, and the community at large is not only invaluable, but should be a requirement. So I support Barbara. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next is Walter Hagedorn.
Good evening. I'm Walter Hagedorn. I'm chair of the Oxnard Shores Neighborhood Council, part of the Neighborhood Council system. One of the things you didn't hear much about today and some of the qualifications, except for in Doug, is policy. And you're involved with policy in making that. Some of the things that we have been dealing with the airport over the last 5 years have been about things such as zoning around the airport, development. These things are things that you have to be advised the Board of Supervisors or the City Council on. Fly-friendly programs, pollution, flight patterns. Another thing came up in the 150 study, which we were a part of. The neighborhood councils had many members on the Part 150 Public Committee. And one of the things that came up in there was that they suggested that we redo the Ventura County Airport land use plan. This is a huge project, and having it have not been done for so many years, this is going to be things that you're going to have policy, and you're going to have what I've found in dealing with the city is that when you have community support, and you have it within the policies, that you get things done. And I think that in this case, Doug brings not only the Doug Tauber brings not only the experience he has with flying and with the airport, but he also brings it in the realm of having been part of this policy discussion for the last 5 years and being on the 150 study board also. Also, last night, the deadline for communications was yesterday afternoon, but last night was the INCO board's weekly meeting, and we allowed there were 14 chairs there, which represent a good portion of the INCO. And besides the ones that you received, we had a petition which was signed by 14 of the chairs asking to support Doug as a public representative. It's important to have the trust of the community. Sometimes these things seem to be a little bit adversarial. But in the end, when you have someone like Doug who has the experience with the airport, he can communicate with the community and tell them what is possible and what is not possible. And he has developed that trust with us. We have confidence in him that he can work with the board, work with all the stakeholders, and to provide you with the information that you need to make good policy decisions. And I think that there are a lot of good people who are running here. Many of them have worked with the airport, but you need to have someone who's from the outside, someone from the community, someone who we can trust to when we bring our policy ideas to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, one thing, I do have the petitions here that were signed. Can I?
Thank you. You can leave them with the clerk. Thank you. And Mr. Stein, we have a card for you for item 7C. Did you mean to speak for this item? Yes? Okay, that's fine. You can go ahead and do so. And you will be followed by Scott Bear.
Good evening, members of the board and public. My name's Larry Stein. I've been a community activist in Oxnard since the 1990s. I get to cherry pick my issues. I talk about water. I talk about parks. I don't talk about airports too often until last year. Some people from INCO came up to me and indicated that there are issues with the development and parking and the airport. There are planes that come and take off that use lead in the fuel. There are many people who have been involved in the airport for a number of years, and Doug in particular has brought up issues before INCO and some of the issues that address the citizens of Oxnard. We've gone to city council several times and talked about issues of the airport and the lead in the air, only being ignored by city council. The planning commission simply said, we've looked into the issue. They did not address the issue. They just looked into the issue. We do need members from the city who can emphasize the concerns the residents have. Now, some people say, well, this is a fly in the wall, this is a minor issue. People who live at the beach are bothered by the noise. Well, people who bought homes at the beach know there was an airport there. They knew about the noise. The airport was built in the 1930s, thereabouts. Lead in the air was not an issue. Lead in the air was not an issue in the 1960s. Lead in the air was not an issue in the 1970s until late 70s. So the issue of lead in the air has been an environmental concern only recently, if you consider 30 years recent. So we need people like Doug who can speak about the issues that are current and address the needs of the community of Oxnard and not just overall issues. Again, he's experienced and can speak of things that address the issues and help address the community to make this area. Oxnard Airport will not be taken down. Oxnard holds too much debt or has borrowed too much money from the government. They cannot pay that money back. So Oxnard Airport will be around for however long it takes. And Doug can help address the issues for the citizens of Oxnard. Thank you much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Stein. And our next speaker is Mr. Scott Bear, to be followed by Ms. Diana Velsey.
And Chair Tron, just for the record, we do have online comments as well.
Thank you. We'll take these last two in-person comments and then we'll go to the Zoom comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oxnard Authority members, I wanted to just take a couple of minutes and throw my support behind Barb Filkins. Barb is one of the most capable people I've ever met. And if she can train this old dog to be an IFR pilot, she's got some pretty good skills. And as far as government is concerned, Barb heads up the Fillmore Mutual Water District. I don't know that she publicizes that a lot, but she is very experienced in dealing with government. And I've held several meetings with her and Director Freitas and seen her management, her government skills in action as we try to work through some of the issues that are facing both airports. So in short, I just don't think you're going to find a more capable candidate than Barb, and I would strongly urge you to reappoint her as the public member for Oxnard. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Bear. And our last in-person comment will be Ms. Diana Velsey. This is just one last call for anyone in person who would like to make a comment. We have the cards there in the back. Please turn them into the clerk. Otherwise, we're going to move on to our virtual comments after this speaker.
Hi, as you may know, my name is Diana Velsey. I'm the chair of the INCO. I'm here just to reiterate what my colleagues have said. I agree with them wholeheartedly. And I do believe that it's time that we have somebody who can sit in the seat that does their, the heartbeat of the city of Oxnard. He works closely with the INCO. All of us work closely together, and they understand what's going on at the airport because people live around that thing. And I'm just here again to support Doug to be to be put on the seat for the airport authority. I think he has the talent that is needed for this position. He has an understanding of the needs of Oxnard. And it is an Oxnard airport, not that other people can't sit here, but I do believe it's time to get somebody who doesn't have maybe other issues that maybe could be considered questionable, because they have businesses that they might be fighting for or whatever. Doug comes in clean. He's knowledgeable. He understands the needs of the airport, and he also understands the need of Oxnard. And I don't think you could go wrong by picking Doug to sit on that seat. And that's nothing against any of the other persons that's sitting on the dais up there. And that's all. I didn't come with a prepared speech because I sent it in the mail. I never do things good on the fly, but I hope that you will consider Doug this position. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Belsey. Okay, we have some online speakers, I believe.
Yeah, let me go ahead and our first speaker is going to be Ben DiBenedetto. And oops, sorry. You can go ahead and speak when you are ready, sir.
Great. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. I'm speaking to you tonight in support of Doug Tauber. As you know, and as the Oxnard Advisory Commission knows, Doug has been involved with our neighborhood council. I'm the transportation chair for the Studio City Neighborhood Council, and all other neighborhood councils for the last several years that are around the airport in dealing with various issues at the airport, noise, traffic, just, every issue. Doug has been there and is well aware. He has since become, a year or so ago, the chair of the Via Marina Neighborhood Council. And now he is vice chair, I believe, of the INCO. So all of the neighborhood councils are involved at the INCO. So I think he really has his finger on the pulse of what's going on, particularly with the stakeholders and constituents around the airport. We've had a pretty good working relationship with the airport over the last 4 or 5 years, but there have been some very difficult things and some things that we still need to work on. And one of those is to have people involved on the advisory commission as well as the authority in the community dealing with things like development, things like health issues, things like putting schools across the street from the runway. We have had some success, but we need to work together and continue that. I think Doug can do that. One last thing, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. Ms. Filkins' term is ending. 2 years ago, when she was appointed, there was only one application mentioned at the meeting, and I'm pleased tonight to see that other people are involved and that there are other applications. Supervisor Long put Ms. Filkins' name in nomination. Nobody else was heard of or from. The vote was taken, and Ms. Filkins was given the position. So in Ms. Filkins' application, the very first question that you ask is, do you have any economic interests such as income, investments, real or personal property, or outstanding loans, which might present a potential conflict of interest? She answered no. In her experience, on her resume, she states, sorry, I have it right here in front of me. Last December, I celebrated my 5-year anniversary as a faculty member at CAU, California Aeronautics University. It's a clear conflict of interest. And for that, although I admire her service and her work ethic, I was on the 150 panel with her. She's done a magnificent job for aviation in the area, but she should be exempt from serving on the authority board or the commission. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. DiBenedetto. We won't be able to do responses. Okay, do we have another online speaker?
We do have one more speaker. Let's pin this person and give me 1 second. Okay, Mr. John George, you can unmute your mic and speak when you are ready.
Hello, I'm John George, Cohota President. That's the Camarillo and Oxnard Hangar Owners and Tenants Association. I wanted to participate tonight because I know the airport authority is considering members, and I think it's really important enough for me to comment on a couple of the candidates. The one I'd like to comment on now is Ms. Filkins, Barbara Filkins. I've known Ms. Filkins for many years. I'm also a hangar neighbor of hers at Oxnard Airport. And during that time, I see the way that she interacts with people and the amount of work that she does for the airports is actually pretty incredible. It's more than impressive. As Mr. Di Benedetto just pointed out, one of the things she did was work on the Part 150 noise survey. She was also instrumental in working the right-hand traffic pattern solution in Oxnard. But the amount of work, not only the amount that she did, but the quality of the work is getting us through these tough situations. And even as he said, to lose someone like that would be terrible because of the assets that she brings to the airport authority. I think that the one thing that she has among her extensive experience is the fact that she is an active general aviation pilot and instructor. So she gets the firsthand knowledge of those callings that she has to implement her experience to solve these problems. Most of these other people that have put in their applications, while they're honorable, don't have anywhere near the experience that Ms. Filkins has to solve these problems. And as we've seen, these problems have been solved. And I hope that we can continue to use Ms. Filkins on the airport authority to continue to solve the problems that she is so capable of doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That concludes our virtual comments.
Thank you. At this time, before we go to the floor for nominations, are there any last questions that our Oxnard Airport Authority members would like to ask of any of the applicants? Yes, Councilor Perlo.
There was a comment made that one gentleman brought up there was a conflict of interest. Do we have anybody here that can address that? Having been in a situation where people take shots at you, it's nice to be able to respond, and apparently we cannot have a respond, but I'd like to have somebody address that.
Well,
your reputation matters, Chair.
If I may,
Chair Turan, let the gentleman speak to the microphone.
before you speak, Mr. Freitas, I would like to clarify that if there were additional questions for any of the applicants. So if you would like to have Ms. Filkins have an opportunity to respond to that, I'll give you that privilege, or we can hear from Director Freitas.
I'd rather have director. I'd like to have somebody else so that somebody can't say that it's biased.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I hope you understand that.
Director Freitas.
I will answer it this way, is that I believe everybody in this room has a bias at some level because they have an interest in being here in the issues. And there is a process in the Brown Act to recuse yourself if there is a direct conflict on some particular item. We have that all the time throughout government. So that's how I would answer that. Is that?
Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Councilor Perlo. Okay, are there any additional questions? Supervisor Lopez.
Thank you, Chair. Appreciate the response from Director Freitas, but if I can actually, for clarification, the conflict that was mentioned was a school. And I would like to ask if that's a school that operates out of the either the Camarillo or the Oxnard airports from Ms. Filkins.
CAU is a California accredited state university oriented towards aviation education. I'm an academic instructor for them, so I am on faculty. I also handle things from distance education point. So physically, I am not on the Oxnard campus. Furthermore, I don't necessarily see how that would necessarily be any different than having a conflict I taught for Embry-Riddle, Arizona State, or whatever. It's part of my employment package. What I do for the authority is above and beyond that. I do take into account the fact that as far as what I do for flight instruction is independent from CAU. Yes, there is an economic factor to it. It's part of how I make my livelihood. But again, it's separate and independent from my role on the authority.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions of any of the applicants? Just wanted to last call on that. Okay, so we have heard from each of the applicants who wish to speak. We took public comment, and at this point, I will open the floor to nominations for the public member, and then we will do the alternate public member.
I would like to nominate Barbara Filkins for the public member. I have appreciated what she has brought to the table the last 2 years in our noise study, and for the routes, we still have more things to do, and I feel that her expertise has been extremely helpful on this board. And so with that, I would like to nominate her.
We have a nomination from Supervisor Long for Ms. Filkins. Do we have a second?
Yes.
Second from Councilmember Perrello. Do we have any other nominations before we move on to this vote? I would like to nominate Mr. Doug Tauber for the position of public member as well. Do I have a second? Okay. So my motion has failed. We'll go to the vote for Ms. Filkins for the public member.
Yes.
Supervisor Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Bert Perrello,
Yes.
Chair Gabe Duran.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes 4-0.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to open the floor to for nominations for the alternate public member. Please note that our applications did note which applicants were requesting public member and alternate member, or only alternate member if there were any.
Can you share those names for the public that's in attendance?
Yes, sir. And before I do, Mr. Freitas, from a technical standpoint, if someone did not put on their application that they were interested in alternate member, are we past the time when they could say they would be interested if they've already applied for a public member?
I don't believe that that is a problem. They decided at that time, you could ask them if they've changed their mind, they could do that. That would be appropriate.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'm going to read who has applied for alternate public member. And then we'll see if anyone in the audience who applied but did not state that would like to change their mind. So first was Barbara, who has been appointed as a public member. And then Mr. Roger Gagnon said he would be an alternate public member, as did David Kerr. Excuse me, I'm just letting my computer catch up to me here. And Heather Schmidt, who has rescinded her application. So I named those names. Are there any applicants who only applied for public member who would like to change to alternate public member? Okay, and forgive me, sir, what was your name again? Mike Alfred. Okay, so we have Mr. Alfred, who has identified he would also be the alternate public member or interested in that position. So to recap, we had Mr. Alfred, we had Mr. Gagnon, and Mr. Kerr. So I'll open the floor to nominations for the alternate public member.
Chair Teron, we do have the list on the screen here who's also interested in the alternate public member.
Thank you.
That includes Aram Dicasian and Stephen Lentz.
Oh, excuse me. On my note, I had that Mr. Dicasian had crossed out. I see. My apologies. And please don't let my wife see this. I should have been more observational and seen that that was up on the screen. So to recap, we can see on the screen there, Mr. Gagnon, Ms. Filkins, Mr. Lentz, Mr. Kerr, and Mr. Dicasian, as well as Mr. Alfred. So I'll open the floor to nominations for the alternate public member.
Current alternate member is Mr. Kerr.
Is Smith?
Albert, I recommend the current, Mr. Albert.
Okay, we have a nomination for Mr. Alfred. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Supervisor Lopez. Are there any other nominations? Seeing and hearing none, can we go to the vote, please?
Yes.
Supervisor Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Barperlo, and Chair Teran.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes 4-0.
Thank you very much. At this point, that concludes 7A for the selection of the public member and alternate public member. In a few moments, we will go to the Camarillo Airport Authority for their selection of their public and alternate member. But before we do that, we have item 7B, which is selection of chair and vice chair. Before we move on, Chair Tremblay, I know that we've already looked at our agenda. Would you be okay with us taking this real quickly, or would you like to
No, go.
get started?
You're on a roll.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so let's go ahead and do that then. So recommendation, nominate and select 2026 chair and vice chair for the Oxnard Airport Authority. And Director Freitas, do you have any opening remarks for this item?
I do not, other than just to point out, there is nothing in the bylaws that talks about the rotation. That is your discretion, although the typical rotation would be next round would be the public member, if you so to choose that, and then a county supervisor would be the next vice chair rotation. That's the standard, but not required by the bylaws.
Thank you very much. Well, I have
I'd nominate Barbara Falcon for the chair.
we have a nomination for Ms. Filkins for chair. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, so we have a second. Any other nominations for chair? Okay, can we take the vote, please? We have a first by Councilmember Perello and a second by Supervisor Lopez for Ms. Filkins.
We have Supervisor Long,
Yes.
Supervisor Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Perello,
Yes.
and Chair Gabe Teran.
Yes,
Okay, that motion passes 4-0.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
You should come back, yes. Actually, should we have had Ms. Filkins vote on that as well?
It would be her option to abstain or to vote on it.
Okay, she has chosen to abstain. Do you want to state that in the mic?
I abstain.
Okay, well, congratulations, Barbara Falcons, for appointment as reappointment as public member and as appointment as chair for the Oxnard Airport Authority. I think we can do applause for that. As I understand it, Director Freitas, after this item, she'll be taking over the meeting. Is that correct?
It does say immediately, so yes, that is your ability to pass the baton.
You want to do
Or
the
the
vice
gavel.
chair, or you want me to wrap up this item?
Right.
Okay. All right, so for vice chair, as Director Freitas had mentioned, the typical rotation would be one of the supervisors would be the vice chair. So, but we are not beholden to that. But do we have nominations for vice chair?
I would nominate Supervisor Lopez for the Oxnard Vice Chair.
Okay, we have a nomination for Supervisor Lopez.
I
We have-
second that.
We have a second from soon-to-be Chair Filkins. Any other nominations for vice chair? Okay, we have a first by Supervisor Long, second by Chair Filkins. Can we get the vote, please?
Bless you.
We have Supervisor Long,
Yes.
Supervisor Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Perello,
Yeah.
Chair Gabe Teran,
Yes,
and Vice Chair Falcon.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes 5-0.
congratulations, Supervisor Lopez. At this point, I will turn it over to Chair Tremblay, but I would just like to take a quick moment of personal privilege to thank you all for allowing me to be chair for these last number of meetings. And it's been a great experience. I look forward to continuing to serve, but also not having to do the extra work as well. I enjoy it, but I love to share the work as well. So, okay, I'll turn it over to you, Chair Tremblay.
Sure. Mr. Peralta, number one, I would like to thank everyone that took the opportunity to put their hat in the ring. Having done that the very first time that I ever did it, it's hard as hell to get up and say, please vote for me. I wanted to say that. To Mr. Tabor, you're absolutely right. I did tell you. Table, you're on the menu. I respect all that you have done for neighborhoods, but I want you to understand, I've sat side by side by members of the public, and this lady, in my opinion, does a good job. And I come from a situation where you can change horses in the middle of the street. Thank you. Thank you all for putting your hands on the ring.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Councilor Perrello. And I'll just echo that as well and take the opportunity to thank all of you who applied. This is my second go around with this process, and I am impressed by the level of engagement and interest that folks have in this. And I know that Mr. Chopper and I have had conversations as well, and I appreciate his engagement and also the showing of folks who work with you to show their support for what you do and validating what it is that you do. So please continue that work. Okay, I'll turn it over to you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Well, I guess now I address you as former chair to Ron. But anyway, do a wonderful job. We've enjoyed tag teaming with one another, and thank you very, very much. So you get a well-deserved break for these, actually for the rest of the, well, you now have a new chair. So certainly for these next two items. So let's move on to 7C and 7D for Camarillo Airport Authority. 7C being the selection of the public member and alternate public member, and 7D being the selection of chair and vice chair for calendar year 2026. We are going to do this in just about the same fashion as Oxnard Airport Authority just did it. One difference being that we actually have 12 applicants, are now 11 apparently, because we had an applicant withdraw. I want to first of all, start off by thanking sincerely all of the applicants for your interest, for taking the time to submit your applications. It is a substantial commitment, and we really appreciate it, and we really appreciate your willingness to serve the public. I'm going to now ask for speakers. We're going to go to 7C, which is the selection of the public member and alternate public member. I'm going to ask for speakers who wish to offer public comments on this item. I'm going to do it the same way that Mr. Tron did it. I'll just go down the list of the folks who are the applicants and find out whether or not they wish to address the authority. If you are an applicant and you wish to address the authority, please know that the Board of Supervisors and City Council members of the authority have already received and had the opportunity to review your applications. If you wish to speak, you might consider simply whether there's anything further that you wish to add to the statements set forth in your application, or any comments you may have previously made this evening. And following each of your comments, I'll ask members of the Camarillo Airport Authority whether they have any questions for you. If conversely, and we'll go through that, and then I will ask for speakers who are non-applicants who wish to address the authority. If you are a non-applicant who wishes to speak, that's great. We welcome your input, and we will hear from you after hearing from any applicant who wishes to speak. So you've heard me say this before, but as with other items, there's a 3-minute limit to your remarks to the authority. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start, and I will just go down the line. I think it looks like I'm in the same order on my sheet too, and just ask each of the applicants whether they wish to address the authority. First up would be Scott Bear. Would you care to address the authority? This would be the right time to do it. This would be the right time to do it. I could have made that more clear. Let me try to, if you are now, I'm going to call all the applicants, and if you wish to address the authority, please do so at this time. Thank you, Mr. Bear.
Supervisor Long, Supervisor Lopez, when she gets back, Councilmember Santangelo, Councilmember Tremblay. Thank you for the opportunity to speak and for your consideration tonight. During my tenure as the public member on the Camarillo Airport Authority, I'm proud to have forged relationships with the various stakeholders in and around the airport. That includes maintaining an ongoing dialogue with the members of the Old Town community on noise mitigation issues. And I believe the leaders of the anti-noise movement have come to trust me and trust my level of willingness to try to assist in any way I can. I'm also proud of the close working relationship I've developed with Director Freitas. He and I speak regularly about issues concerning the airport, including efforts to mitigate noise, and previously about the seemingly endless years-long hangar lease dispute. I believe my input to him on airport issues has been beneficial. To further my efforts to assist in noise mitigation, I'm serving on the Camarillo Airport Approach Advisory Committee, which is exploring new and different approaches into the airport with the added benefit of reducing the environmental impact on nearby communities. As a lawyer pilot, I'm able to interpret the federal and state statutes and regulations and rules that, among other things, impact noise abatement. And during my tenure, I've also raised legal issues concerning other airport issues, including airport leases. And I was also able to mediate the dispute between CAF and the EAA over EAA's lease in CAF's hangar. And we were able to bring that to a resolution to keep EAA on the airport. Over the years, I've come to appreciate and enjoy our local airport for what it is, an important economic contributor to our community, as well as a center where community members can pursue their passion for aviation. As a local homeowner, pilot, hangar owner, lawyer, I believe my skills, education, and sensibilities have been a plus for the Camarillo Airport Authority. And I'd be honored to continue the work on which we've embarked over the last 4 years. Thank you again for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Bear. Do any members of the Camarillo Airport Authority have any questions for the applicant? Thank you very much. Let's see. My next applicant to call on, if he wishes to speak, is Michael Phillips.
Thank you very much. I would like to go ahead and go to an alternate request. I respect Scott. I've known Scott for a very long time, both personally and professionally. And so I'll just go ahead and ask if I could be into the alternate category as opposed to the public citizen. But I am very much involved in the community, aviation-wise, and have been for a number of years, and understand all of the airports that will surround us. And I think that I would serve well because I bring a lot of different perspectives and views to the role. I also am the chairman of the board of an 8,000 member Society of Aviation Flight Educators, of which I'm very proud. And I understand aviation and have watched lots of airports go through what Camarillo's been going through and what Oxnard goes through. But I think Scott is terrific, and I would throw my hat in the ring for him.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Any questions for Mr. Phillips from members of the CAA? Without objection, then, from members of the Camarillo Airport Authority, we'll go ahead and switch Mr. Phillips' request over to an alternate member candidacy. All right, without objection, that'll be the order. William Thomas. Mr. Thomas.
Airport Authority, it's good to see you again. I'm William Thomas, been a long-term Camarillo resident, long-term Camarillo Airport resident. Been involved with the Airport Authority for many years. What I bring to the table is the ability to talk to a lot of different folks, from the pilots to the old FBO, ASP folks that are serving CA, the EAA, the 99s. I probably have more relations touches on the airport than most of the people here. I'm enthusiastic and want to be able to, and I really enjoy being able to pay forward all of the things that aviation has provided me. And I'm looking forward to continuing serving the community and the airport. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Thomas from members of the Camarillo Airport Authority? Are hearing none. Thank you. Robert Gagnon. Thank you very much. I hope I did not mispronounce your name, by the way. That's the background. Okay. Stephen Lentz. Thank you, sir. Mr. Sadri Ameli.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to be here.
My name is Ali Sadramali. I'm a long-term Ventura County resident, and I've been professionally and voluntarily been engaged with the Camarillo community for over a decade. My background sits at the intersection of aviation, community, and education, 3 areas I believe essential to responsible airport governance. I bring more than 20 years of experience in business banking, nonprofit leadership, and board-facing governance. I currently serve as a director of development for a local reputable healthcare nonprofit, where I work closely with executive leadership and governing board, regularly presenting reports focused on accountability, transparency, and measurable community impact. Previously, I served as a branch manager for a local community bank right here in Camarillo, building long-lasting relationship with local businesses, nonprofits, and civic leaders. My community involvement includes serving as a past board member of Camarillo Chamber of Commerce, a current board member of Boys and Girls Club of Camarillo, an advisory council member with the School of Management at California Lutheran University, and I'm also a graduate of Ventura County Leadership Academy, and I hold an executive MBA from Cal Lutheran. From an aviation perspective, I'm an FAA certificated remote pilot, Part 107, and student pilot with a single engine with 80 hours of flight time, and a volunteer with the Commemorative Air Force, volunteer with my daughter at air shows. Experiences that emphasize safety, operational discipline, and thoughtful balance with the surrounding community. I believe I would bring value to the authority through governance experience, business and nonprofit perspective, and hands-on aviation involvement, offering balanced practical judgment in service to both the airport and community we serve. I also would like to thank Director Freitas and his team and the Airport Authority for doing such a good job leading and keeping our airports a vital regional asset and a good neighbor. I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. Are there any questions for Mr. Sadramel? The members of the authority? Hearing none, thank you very much. Michael Alfred. And you are, that's right. So thank you. Which means that you would not be right. Thank you for reminding me of that, Mr. Alfred. Okay. All right, we'll take you out of that, Luke. All right, Gail Claridge. Ms. Claridge.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'd like to say that I'm kind of different than everyone else because I am not a pilot, but I have been married to a pilot for 63 years. And I've been alongside him with everything he's ever done. He was chief pilot for the LAPD helicopter unit, and he is the one that started Air Support Division. And I've worked long and hard with him on that. He died in December of 20 of COVID, and I have been left with all of his knowledge and everything that he's wanted me to do. Right before he died, we purchased 8 hangars here at the airport, of which I still own. And I've been on the board of several institutions, one of them being the University of Northridge. I was on their board for over 5 years, and I helped them in a financial way. I was able to hold many fundraisers for them, and I made them financially sound at a time when interest rates were 18%. They said, I think out of the box. They valued my opinion, and I helped them a great deal. I would like to do the same thing for Camarillo Airport. I think it needs to be financially sound. I'm a businesswoman, and I ran a multi-million-dollar business for over 40 years. And I'm still now retired from my career as a designer. I'm a general contractor. I'm a member of the American Institute of Architects. And I think I bring something quite different than everyone else, but I can help in many, many ways, and I would like to do that. I love Camarillo. I think it is the future. I would like to be a part of Camarillo's future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Claridge. Are there any questions from members of the authority? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on to RM Dicasian. Mr. Dicasian.
Well, thank you very much. I also identify with some of the candidates. I am also a remote pilot with a student pilot experience as well. I'm a young person, somebody that I think there needs to be balance in this room. I believe there has to be balance. And I think age is something that gives wisdom to people, but I also think that we need to have balance. That's what coalition building is all about. Well, there will be a day. In fact, there's a song I remember, an old song that some of you might know. The lyrics go something like this: tomorrow is their future, but for me, it's just another day. I think that this board in itself is going to have that need. I have a lot of people that I do know in the Camarillo community that would be interested in these issues. And I bring a perspective, not just of aviation through my degree, but also through, knowing people and getting to know them and who they are and meet their families. In addition, I also have served on different boards. I've served on the Autism Society of Ventura County during the COVID-19 pandemic, when a lot of people had their resources taken away. I was there to help them out. I also helped provide funding for the sensory park that took place at Arroyo Verde in Ventura. In addition to that, I also have been a part of the Toastmasters, the Sandpipers Toastmasters Club, which brings a lot of good contributing members to the community, including a lot of people that I hold dear that do a lot of good things. They do it from the heart and they really mean it. And we go there and we support each other every day, including Mr. Ernesto Vargas, a really good man, Camarillo, who's really helped a lot of people around him bring him up. And I want to go and build this coalition with him as well. In addition, I shout out to Annette Garcia, Heart of an Angel, who's also helped a lot of people below the poverty line. And this experience and this knowledge that I bring, not just from this group of people, from all the places that I've served, I think is what makes me a worthy candidate to be on this board. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. DeCasian. Are there any questions from members of the Camarillo Airport Authority? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Next, I'm going to ask, and please forgive me in advance, Miguel Marmol Guarecelaya.
Good evening. So good evening. Apologies that I could not be there in person today with all of you. But yes, so I'm unique in that, or not unique, but I'm also a resident of Ventura, of Camarillo. I live actually just under the approach path for one of the approaches to Camarillo. And I'm also lead a team that is an airport tenant. So a group of about 20 individuals that work and fly at the airport every single day. So it gives me a unique perspective in that I have both as a community member, I'm very involved in my neighborhood organization, and so see the needs of what the residents are that have nothing to do with the airport or aviation or anything like that. But at the same time, I also, being part of the airport, understand the benefits that it brings to the community. And so try within my neighborhood organization, weigh those together and make decisions that help both of those out. And I'd like to bring that passion forward, right? And my whole career, I've been involved in aviation, and a lot of it has involved through flight tests. And so I end up with a lot of airport operations. And I have a very close working relationship with the Camarillo Airport team, both operations and administrations, through the work that we do. And so kind of makes me, I feel qualified to, I understand some of the unique issues that Camarillo Airport goes through and the community of Camarillo at large. But then at the same time, have the broader experience of having worked in airports around the country. And so kind of how we can bring some of those solutions forward to help make Camarillo, right? The idea is to make Camarillo Airport a more of a contribution to the community. So that's what I'd like to see us do more of. So thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Guarecelaya. And if I've mispronounced your name, I apologize.
No worries at all.
Gave it my best efforts. Are there any questions from members of the authority for this applicant? All right, hearing none, we'll then recognize the last applicant, Brian Van Loo. Mr. Van Loo? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Van Loo. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to do two things. First of all, I would like at this time to ask if there are any speakers physically here in the hearing room who would like to offer comments to the authority on any of the applicants. After we do that, then I'll ask if there are any speakers who wish to be recognized who are online. And okay. Okay, Barbara, I'm going to recognize you, but let me do it in a minute. Okay, that's great. All right, thanks. I'm a little confused by the card I've received. It's from Mr. Barrett. Oh, okay. All right. This is what happens when you don't have enough coffee late in the day. All right. Let me recognize at this point, are there any, aside from Ms. Filkins, are there any members of the audience who wish to address, who are not applicants, who wish to address members of the authority? All right, hearing none. Ms. Filkins, would you like to address us, please? I'm going to do that next. Thanks for reminding me.
I'm probably going to get in trouble because I know several of the candidates for this, but I'd like to recommend Scott Bear for the position of public member. In the time that I've been on the authority and he's been the public member for Camarillo, it's been a very good working relationship. We worked together on that airspace committee for Camarillo. And what I enjoy is the fact that he brings perspective, not just of a pilot, but also as a lawyer that's involved in the community. So I just wanted to make that recommendation or comment or support.
Thank you very much, Ms. Filkins. Are there any other non-applicants who are here in the audience who wish to address the authority on this item? All right, let's go now to online.
Yes, we do have online comments.
How many?
We have 3.
Okay, let's recognize the first one, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
My name is Mark Harnick. I am the Vice President for COHOTA, the Hangar Owners Association, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I am here to give my strong endorsement to Scott Bearer for the public member. COHOTA has been very quiet for the last couple of years, but we have still been active. I'm particularly proud of our efforts in the Fly Friendly initiative and our hard work to be a good neighbor to all of the organizations and communities surrounding both the Camarillo and Oxnard Airport. Scott, as a former president of COHOTA and in his current role, has been instrumental in bringing about, as we've said before, the resolution of the hangar issue, but also going forward in fostering a positive and helpful relationship between the airport, the community, the hangar owners, and as a Camarillo resident as well as a hangar owner, he's uniquely situated to be a fair-minded and reasonable voice for good governance and for the interest of all concerned. I think that he is the most experienced, qualified, and I think that he will do a great job going forward as he has for the last 4 years. I also want to give my my strongest endorsement for Michael Phillips as an alternate member. I did not know that he was part of the slate. I'm very happy that I have both my private instructor, who was Michael, and my instrument instructor, which is Barb, involved in the airport. I think that they are outstanding individuals and about as knowledgeable in aviation as you could ever possibly want. So I hope that you consider Michael for the alternate position. And thank you very much for your time tonight and your consideration tonight.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate your comments. Let's move to the second online speaker, please.
Yes, our second speaker is going to be John George, and I will promote him to panelist shortly. Okay. And Mr. George, you can begin speaking when you're ready.
Hello, authority members. I had a great speech, but Mark just said basically what I was going to say. I'm going to try and not repeat too much of Mark's statement because obviously Mark and I, having worked with Scott for several years, both know exactly the qualities that Scott brings to the airport authority. You know, I was actually delighted to see that he has volunteered to serve again. And so I think it's incredibly important that Scott remain as a member to the Camarillo Airport Authority. Again, he knows the histories of the airports. He's an active pilot, which is very important, and hangar owner at Camarillo. He's a Camarillo resident, which means he's impacted by any policies the airport authority enacts. So he's literally got his hands in everything, and by that I mean he is able to use his expertise, but more importantly, his objectivity. You know, Scott is great at being able to look at all sides of an issue. He can provide an emotional perspective without emotion, is what I mean. And that's really what sets him apart, I think. You know, he's got all his legal expertise, of course, but the fact that people around him can see that he is going to be objective in his decisions and his solutions is what really makes him a great asset to the airport authority. So I heartily endorse Scott to continue as a member of the airport authority. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. George. Appreciate your comments. Let's have the third online speaker, please. Thanks, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Okay, our next speaker is going to be John Greenwood. And Mr. Greenwood, you can speak when you are ready.
Yes, my name's John Greenwood. I'm here to ask that you re-elect Scott to the public member seat at the on the Camarillo Airport Authority Board. I'm active with the Save Our Skies group here in Camarillo and administer the No Big Jets group online. Some of you have probably heard of that. Between on social media with the Save Our Skies group, there we have over 1,500 followers. The No Big Jets group has about 150 members. So I think my voice echoes the sentiment of quite a few members of our community. In the last 4 years of Scott's tenure, he's done an exceptional job representing the Camarillo community and has shown us that he understands the needs of our airport and also the needs of our community. I wholeheartedly recommend that, believe that Scott is the best person for the board and for the people of Camarillo. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Greenwood. Appreciate your comments. Are there any other online speakers?
We have no other online comments.
All right, thank you, Madam
Oh,
Clerk.
wait, I apologize. We do not. Thank you.
You're sure? We're good.
Sorry, someone.
No, I just want you to double check.
We just had one more comment. Give me one moment.
It's fine. Take your time. I want to make sure we include anybody who wishes to speak.
Okay, our next comment is going to be from Lauren. Lauren, you can speak when you are, oops, sorry, just one person. You can speak when you are ready.
Thank you very much. I want to just agree with the comments for people that were saying that Scott Bear would be a good continued asset for the committee, the CAA. This would be his third time, having him 2 times already. He's been very supportive. As John said a moment ago, I am also a member of Save Our Skies Camarillo, live in Old Town, and have felt very comfortable with the relationship that Scott has created with our group, which we have close to 300 members of people here in Camarillo, working on making sure the quality of life is the quality that we deserve as residents all over Camarillo as far as noise factors and jets. So I highly recommend Scott, and I hope that he gets to continue with this job.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments. And with that, Madam Clerk, are there any other online commenters?
We have no further comments online.
All right, thank you. We'll bring it back to the room. Is there anybody else physically present who wish to make any comments relative to the selection of the regular public member? All right, hearing none, let's bring it back for discussion and deliberation by the authority. Who wants to start? We're all jumping.
I would like to make a nomination.
Sure.
I'd like to nominate Scott Bear.
All right, there's a nomination for Scott Bear. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, are there any other nominations for the position? All right, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Supervisor Long,
Yes.
Supervisor Lopez,
Yes.
Chair Tremblay,
Yes.
and Councilmember Santangelo.
Yes.
That motion passes 4-0.
Right, and congratulations, Mr. Bear. I do want to make one editorial note that I think the quality of the applicants tonight has been outstanding. Reading the applications, and I read them all thoroughly. I don't remember a time during my time in public service, this is my 10th year, not on the authority, but looking at applications where I've seen such a consistently high quality of applicants. And it takes time to apply and to put yourself out there. So as Mr. Perello indicated earlier, so thank you very, very much. I just believe Mr. Bear is the most, use the word that a speaker used online, exceptional. And he has contributed so much for this community, and particularly and I know you've already won the vote, Scott, so, but I really want to commend you for your commitment to Old Town and the noise mitigation and all of the support you've received from there and on the hangar lease issues. And I especially appreciate it because as a lawyer, non-pilot, I appreciate all of your legal acumen as well. But we're done with that one. Now we're going to go to alternate public member. Mr. Freitas, let's see. Did Ms. Filkins come back up and sit up in the chair for the discussion of the alternate public member? I think so. So, right? So, Mr. Bear, why don't you come back up, and then I don't need to use a blue card to figure out what you were doing relative to the alternate public member. It's called not having another cup of coffee after 7 o'clock in the evening. All right. All right, we're going to go ahead and have we've already heard from, just to be sure, any other comments on alternate public member in the audience? Anything online? All right, let's bring it back to the authority for discussion on the alternate public member.
So, about the ones that are interested in the alternate members. Is there any modification? We asked that for the Oxnard, so I wanted to ask.
Is your question of Madam Clerk, Supervisor Long?
I just.
Well, we have William Thomas, if I'm looking at this, William Thomas, Roger Gagnon, Stephen Lentz. Ali.
Yeah. I thought.
He did. Mr. Phillips, correct. So Mr. Phillips is also on there.
We're not.
Let me go through this, Mr. Freitas, and then recognize you. Mr. Sadri Ameli, and Mr. Kazian, and Mr. Van Loo. Mr. Freitas, did I do okay?
You did, and to be consistent, the question that Authority Member Long is asking is to be consistent. Does anybody want to change to add as an alternate? And I think we had one member that talked about just being an alternate.
Right. Thank you. And thank you to Supervisor Long. Anybody else want to change over? Okay. All right. With that, I think the issue is before us. We'd like to start. Or do I hear a motion? Mr. Bear.
Can I make it from here or should I go to the vote?
No, I think you can make it from here.
Speaking as a Camarillo resident and not as a member of the authority, even though I'm sitting up here, and speaking as former candidate for this position, I was very much surprised by Michael Phillips' comments and very grateful for them. Michael is sort of a legend around Camarillo Airport in terms of his ability as a flight instructor, his knowledge. And I think he'd be, and this isn't quid pro quo. I was happy to see him downgrade himself to the alternate public member position. Because I think he has such a broad perspective not just Camarillo based, but regionally based, statewide based, nationally based, that I think he brings something to the table that frankly no other candidate brings. And I think he'd be a good alternate. Right?
Who wants to go next? Either discussion or motion? No, there are no comments online, right, Madam Clerk?
No, there is no comment online.
You can hear a pin drop. Are there? Is there any other discussion of? Is there a motion relative to?
I would like to motion for Bill Thomas. I think that he's been doing such a great job as a past public member, and then also with his experience with Wings Over Camarillo and the associations with the airport and so forth. So I'll put that motion out.
All right, there's a motion by Supervisor Long for William Thomas. Is there a second? I will second that. So we have a motion. Are there any other nominations then for alternate public member?
I'll nominate Michael Phillips.
Okay. Is there a second for that motion? All right, hearing none, the motion fails. Are there any other nominations, any other motions for any other alternate public member? All right, we'll close that. Madam Clerk, could we please go to a vote on the motion for Mr. Thomas as the alternate public member?
We have Supervisor Long,
Yes.
Supervisor Lopez,
Yes.
Chair Tremblay,
Yes.
Councilmember Santangelo,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Scott Bear.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.
All right, Mr. Thomas, congratulations.
And
Oh.
if I could just say, I want, for both Oxnard and Camarillo, I just want to say thank you so much for people caring about what's going on in the airport and wanting to be a part of it is really huge. If you could show up anytime to make comments, I'd really appreciate it. We want to hear your feedback. We want to hear what's going on. And I think the open communication from our stakeholders is really important. So even if you weren't elected for a public member or an alternate, you still have a voice. And I want to make sure that I remind everybody about that. So thank you very much.
Well said. All right, that means we're going to trudge on to item 7D, which is the selection of chair and vice chair for calendar year 2026. And Mr. Freitas, would you be so kind as to remind us of what the informal tradition, non-written tradition has been or practice has been?
The informal tradition, historical perspective has been, the next rotation would be to the public member, followed by the vice chair would be a county supervisor member as the city is now transitioning out. And thank you for your service.
No, I like the fact that the city is transitioning out. All right. Is there discussion on the part of the authority relative to this item? Do I hear a motion?
I'd like to motion Scott Bear for the chair position.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
We have Supervisor Long,
Yes.
Supervisor Lopez,
Yes.
Chair Tremblay,
Yes.
Councilmember Santangelo,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Scott Bear.
Abstain.
Okay, the motion passes 4 with 1 abstention from Scott Bear.
Thank you very much. It's now my pleasure to pass the gavel to Mr. Bear to run the rest of the meeting together with Chair Filkins. Congratulations.
And we have a request for a quick break, so let's take
Vice Chair.
oh, okay, great. All right, let's do the vice chair. Let's see, it would be item D. And Director, do you want to let us know who traditionally is the next in line?
Yes, for the vice chair, that would be a county board supervisor member for the vice chair position.
Do I hear any nominations?
Chair, I'll nominate Supervisor Kelly Wong for vice chair.
Do we have a second? Second. Any other nominations? Madam Clerk, can we call the roll?
Supervisor Long,
Yes.
Supervisor Lopez,
Yes.
Chair Tremblay,
Yes.
Councilmember Santangelo,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Bear,
Yes.
and that motion passes 5-0.
And now we have a request for a quick break. So let's take 5. So next up is a receive and file a staff report from Jeanette on our Ventura County airports.
Good evening to you all. My name is Jeanette Haregi. I'm the Communications and Engagement Manager and Public Information Officer for the Ventura County Department of Airports. Tonight, I'm eager to share the latest feature story highlighting the little-known facts of the day-to-day operations of Camarillo and Oxnard airports. Tonight's story focuses on the established partnership between the Department of Airports and the air traffic control teams. The air traffic control teams at any airport in the nation are the backbone of ensuring the safe and efficient movement of aircraft through the layered complexities of airspace. They are at the mercy of the weather, whether it be cloud cover, winds, or rain, and are repeatedly stretched to capacity on the busiest of days. All the while, they are expected to perform with incredible attention to detail, utilizing every element of their intense and high-demand training to keep everyone safe, whether in the air or on the ground. The Ventura County Department of Airports is fortunate to have established partnerships with the air traffic control teams at both Camarillo and Oxnard airports. Partnerships that are deeply rooted in the shared goals of process improvement, transparency, and the building of relationships with the community. When Fly Friendly VC launched in September 2022, it was immediately clear that the success of the program was dependent on, quite frankly, buy-in from the air traffic control teams who operate independently from the Department of Airports as a critical piece of the Federal Aviation Administration puzzle. Without hesitation, the tower managers at both Camarillo Airport and Oxnard Airport were on board with Fly Friendly VC, knowing that improvements to airport operations with all stakeholders in mind would play a vital role in the overall success of the airports. Since the launch, there now exists an established line of communication between Department of Airports staff and both towers with monthly reports of operations data and, most importantly, immediate access to information related to air traffic in the area. That access not only provides Department of Airports staff with a clear understanding of the conditions surrounding a particular operation, but it also allows staff to establish consistent communication with the public with an ultimate goal of building awareness and trust. Additionally, that line of communication provides the Department of Airports the opportunity to ensure that Fly Friendly VC remains a priority and that the program itself continues to improve with feedback from not just neighbors in the community and pilots, but also from members of the tower teams themselves. Of equal importance is the mutual effort between the Department of Airports and both tower teams to bridge the gap between the community and the air traffic control operations, not just through communication, but through access to the top of the towers where the teams are hard at work. Through the Department of Airports tour program, of which both towers are a part, members of the community have direct access to seeing the work of the air traffic controllers firsthand, providing what becomes an exciting experience for younger visitors and an educational experience for older visitors like Logan, a local high school junior who was interested in pursuing a career as an air traffic controller and who was able to speak to Lee Westfall, the tower manager at Oxnard Airport, who has invested nearly 50 years as an air traffic controller in airports throughout the region. That kind of direct access not only inspires careers, feeding the future of the industry, but it also provides an opportunity to better understand the complex nature of the federal regulations surrounding airspace and why programs like Fly Friendly VC operate the way they do. Moving forward, the Department of Airports will remain committed to this partnership and the ongoing work of strengthening the connection between the community and the sky. And here is a picture from the tour where Logan participated. Logan is the second to the right with his dad on the far right, and then the tower Lee right next to Logan. It was an awesome opportunity for Logan to go up there and talk to Lee and, gain more knowledge about the job itself, and he's very interested in pursuing it. So opportunities like that are really unique and special for anybody in the community that's interested. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harigi. It's great to see young members not just interested in aviation, but in air traffic control. That's unusual. And I think it's terrific.
Thank you.
Wilkins, you want to take, Mr. Tron.
Okay.
Oh, just wanted to say something real quick if I could.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Harigi, for the report. That's a great one. I appreciate the picture. And thank you for the clarification that was a student. I was looking at it thinking, is that one of the controllers?
Yeah.
Feeling my age, thinking, wow, everybody looks so young now.
He's a junior in high school.
Yes. Well, thank you, Roger. That's great to hear that he had the opportunity to go and check that out.
Yeah.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you all.
Ms. Filkins, do you want to take 7F?
If I can turn on my mic, I can. I think we're going to hear about 7, which is the receive and file staff update regarding video surveillance and access control systems at Camarillo and Oxnard airports, and I believe it is Casey.
Good evening, Casey Pullman, Deputy Director of Airports. This is an update on the video surveillance and access control system at both Camarillo and Oxnard airports. I briefed you, I believe it was early 2025. And so I want to give you an update. But before I begin, I want to clarify that this will be a high-level overview of our new surveillance and access control system. Given the security-sensitive nature of the infrastructure, I won't be able to discuss specific technical details, such as the camera locations or system capabilities in depth. Both airports were operating on surveillance and access control systems that were more than 20 years old, relying on outdated network infrastructure and technology. There was a clear need for modernization to meet current security standards for the airports. This project has been in development for several years now and experienced delays common to large infrastructure projects, including the pandemic, staff transitions, standard government contracting timelines, and supply chain disruptions. The completed system includes modern high-resolution digital cameras at both Camarillo and Oxnard, updated access control hardware, and a secure network backbone designed for long-term reliability and future expansion. The total project cost was approximately $645,000, and installation was performed by Convergent Technologies. The physical installation is now complete at both airports, I'm proud to mention. However, the system is not yet fully operational. We are currently awaiting final pricing and configuration details for the long-term video storage capacity component. Once the storage solution is in place and we have completed full testing to ensure all the bugs are worked out, the system will be activated. Department staff have already been trained on the system, on how to operate it, and in preparation for the activation. This new system significantly enhances situational awareness and improves response capabilities. It provides an additional layer of security for both airports, our tenants, and the county as well. The system also strengthens our ability to document conditions and activities should an incident occur, therefore reducing risk and improving accountability. And to note, this is essentially a passive type system, whereas our operations team is not sitting at the monitor looking at it 24/7. It's a system to whereas we have recordings if an incident is to occur at the airport, we have something to look out for that. It's also a way to monitor our fence line to ensure there are no trespassers onto the airport. And I'm happy to answer any questions, keeping in mind the security limitations on what can be discussed publicly.
Just one comment. Over the past years, we've heard that this has been needed. Appreciate being in. I understand asking technical questions, not smart, and don't do it, but appreciate this is going in place. Thank you.
So you're welcome.
I actually have 2 questions. The first is, as far as tenants go, any changes in badging or pass keys or anything like that?
No, as you have seen, we have not asked anything from any of our tenants and anybody with access to the airport. It's been a seamless transition, and that's how it was designed, was so that when we did it's already technically activated. We're kind of in a testing phase right now. So at Camarillo, especially Camarillo got finished prior to Oxnard, and we didn't really have any any issues whatsoever in that transition with the access control systems.
Now, the other question is because of the way technology moves and how fast it can do, and this project's taking a long time, is the technology going to be dated? Or has it been built to be future-proof, so to speak?
Right now, it's current still. In a few years, we'll probably have to upgrade it in some ways, but it's not going to be a major infrastructure project like this was. So, I mean, that's what we're going to do anyways. Like what I had mentioned, that it really, this new system provides like a real formidable backbone to where we can just, we can do those updates and stay current on this current system now. Welcome.
Thank you for the update on that too. And you don't have to, in fact, I would prefer that you not answer with the actual frequency, but will there be changes in access and key cards with some regularity, where people receive new cards, or maybe they rescan them and get new secret codes, I guess, what you can call them, but they're RF, so they read it, I'm assuming. Where those change every once in a while, so that way someone can't just steal that card and have it, or steal the frequency of that card and use it in other ways?
We don't really have, that's not something that we do in terms of changing out the gate card access. That's not needed. What we do though is that every few years a tenant has to resubmit for that, and we ensure that they're actually, we do purges every once in a while to ensure that, if somebody's not using their card within a year, that we're taking action on that. And so, if that's a lost card, then, and it's not reported, that's something that we can take off and take out the access for that. So we do have systems in place without giving you too much information. But we're definitely current in terms of ensuring that, whoever at our best capabilities to ensure whoever was issued a card still has that card and is active.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'm assuming we have, or it sounds like we have kind of the basic tenets of security there, of someone you are, something you know, or something you have, right, in order to be able to get access.
Yeah, that is correct. And if we see any anomalies, that we try to do an investigation to see what's going on with that, and we take it serious.
Perfect.
Obviously, we take security serious at our airports.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. That's my questions.
You're welcome. Any further questions? As you saw on the pictures, there's a couple pictures up there, and again, that just shows what the cameras look like at different points across the airport, and we're pretty excited to have this system in place. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey.
For the record, there is no public comment.
Okay, back to you, Scott, for director's report.
Next up, Director Freitas.
Oh, thank you, chairs and members. Just 4 items quickly. The first is our infamous beacon that we're trying to install at Camarillo. Again, quick background. After 50 years, we found out that we didn't own the water tower here at Camarillo, and the new tenant wanted to charge us $10,000 a month to keep our beacon at the top of it. So we decided to build our own beacon. However, during the installation and testing, it bent at the section that it's not supposed to bend, it's supposed to tilt. So we sent it back to the manufacturer, now expecting some engineering drawings and designs that we'll have to do some evaluation. So our installation was close, but we're not quite there yet. We're hoping that's next 60 days. I know Jeanette spoke earlier, but she did some great work on the airport department's new website, kind of streamlining it. Did a nice video that has things like the air show, our new DC-3 aircraft that's at Oxnard Airport, some of the great young eagles and other events that are happening at our 2 airports. It's kind of a streaming video intermixed with our streamline website. So wanted to announce that. Then, as we've discussed the last couple times, our two RFPs went out for properties here at Camarillo Airport. Those are two parcels that were triggered by businesses here at the airport that want to do some development. As we've discussed before, that requires us to go out and do competitive solicitation for those two parcels. We did incorporate, as the Camarillo Authority had asked us to do, not only development, but repair of the parcel that has about 49 hangars on it. So it's both a proposals for development. If there's a proposal for moving or replacing those small hangars, that's in the proposal as well, is that those have to be replaced. But the last piece is a repair of existing hangars that are in that site. We understand concerns with our tenants. Nobody likes change, and we understand that, and we're trying to do everything that we can do to accommodate that. And even in our ranking that we publish in the RFPs, not only our community, all stakeholders, so it's our community members, how they might be impacted, folks like Old Town, but also our base tenants, how they might be impacted by these development. That all of that is in our ranking, and that's put in the RFPs, that would be consideration for us. So those two went out here at Camarillo, and that's all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
Just a point of clarification. The Wayward tower for the beacon.
Yes.
The issue isn't our installation. The issue is the manufacturer's design. Am I correct on that?
Yes, it is made to tilt, pivot in the middle of it, and when it did, the steel failed at some level, not significantly, but it failed. So that had nothing to do with us per se, sent back. The manufacturer has accepted that, looking at repairs. So again, we're looking for their engineering plan so that we, on an outside entity, can review those, the changes that have been made before we reinstall. And selfishly, we're asking for extended warranty and other things. But anyway, yes.
Any other comments? Mr. Perrella?
Yes, with respect to that, if there's any cost incurred by the airport authority, will the manufacturer make them good?
We've already made a claim. As I mentioned, there's a cost for keeping our beacon on the top of the water tower.
Understood, but I mean, is there going to be a claim through an insurance company for the time lost and everything?
That's through our county risk management team, correct? Yes.
Thank you. Second question, you mentioned the hangars and possibly moving. Are all the hangars owned by the county, or are
All
some
of the hangars on
are
that
personal?
side are county owned hangars, correct?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Any other comments? And we move to item 11. Well, item 10 is correspondence, so nothing to discuss. Actually, item 9 is reports, nothing to discuss. Item 10 is correspondence, nothing to discuss. So we get to 11, authority comments. Any comments from the authority? Mr. Perrella.
I'm grateful to hear that the hangars are not, private. Because I'm also grateful there was a big crowd here tonight, and that's something we very seldom get. That sometimes there's a phrase, you can shoot a cannon in the room and nobody get hit. There was a lot of people here tonight, but it brought to mind, it wasn't as hot as some of the other ones. And that's why I asked the question about the hangar, because I still can remember being with Supervisor Long at the city council in Camarillo, where she had to have the deputies around her because there was a hot crowd. I'll never forget that night. And I was grateful, and she informed me, I wish they knew that you were on that council or the authority, because nobody knew who I was, and I blended with the crowd, got the hell out of there. It's great to have these people apply for the job. I'm going to pay some prices in my district because of my votes, but I believe that this young lady next to me has done a good job, and I don't believe in changing when somebody's doing a good job. I hope that the other individuals stay involved, and I'm grateful that there are people involved, because one thing that I firmly believe, I recall when I was first put on this thing because somebody couldn't make a meeting, it wasn't a choice. I'm sitting next to a guy, Walter Calhoun, and then later Mr. Fussell. And I don't fly. Person here that gave me an airplane ride in the room, but when there was questions about planes and staff didn't say anything, and member of the public that sat on the board started talking about the experience of being a pilot, what it meant, it opened up my eyes. So I hope in the future, we always have somebody that has experience flying that sits on this board. We're fortunate to have multiple people now, but I hope we always do. That may be a wrong bias, but I think it's important because I'll give two of the examples that I'll never forget. They explained the closing distance of a fast plane coming out of Camarillo and how it would interact with a plane that was going to be flying into Oxnard. And unless you were aware of the closing distance, and they had to explain because I didn't know what the hell they were talking about, they could meet in an unfortunate event. And the second was when they were talking about widening a certain area for hangars. And I'll never forget, Mr. Calhoun came up and Mr. Fussell brought up the issue about the width of this wingspan. You're going to be cutting it real close. Why don't you move this hangar? And those are things that none of the elected officials that were on the board at that time thought of. That's hold it very firmly that I want somebody that knows how to fly a plane and get around and get down on the ground sitting up here. Thank you. Those are my comments.
Any other comments? I have just a brief comment. I wanted to thank the 4 elected officials on the Camarillo Authority for reappointing me. I'm honored and humbled and look forward to the next 2 years. And with that, I think we are adjourned. We'll see you all next time on February 5th.
Except I will use one of Tom's favorite terms, ditto, to what you just said.